Now, if I asked you to name some of the most dangerous jobs on the planet, what would you say? Secret agent? Circus performer? IT support? Well, they can all get quite nasty. But one of the most dangerous regular jobs in the world is that of a construction worker, for obvious reasons. Fortunately, there is some technology around to help make it safer. So we sent the most expendable member of the Click team, LJ Rich, to investigate.
London's Olympic dream is less than 3 years away. Planning the construction of a suitably impressive arena requires a lot of thought and manpower. And one of the biggest industries, construction, is also one of the most hazardous. In Britain, it's responsible for nearly 1 in 3 deaths in the workplace.
This is the largest construction site in Europe, and I'm walking across what's going to be the finish line of the 2012 Olympic Games. But before history is made on this spot, the project needs to be completed first.
We're well underway, we're about halfway, and we're due to complete June 2011, so just in advance of a year before the Games, to do the essential test events and operational testing of the venue. Well, I think training is essential before you start work on any building site. There are so many things in every activity you have to consider, so each complex activity is broken down to a method statement that's analysed to make sure it's the most safe way of doing something, where all the people have got the right skills to do that activity. And so that's the major bits, but common injuries are slips, trips and falls on a site. We're in an area where the ground level isn't always solid, there's a lot of hazards around. So making people aware of those activities is sort of a day-to-day activity that we do. A lot of courses on site to make sure people go about their work and just move in between place to place on a building site as safely as possible.
So this is a virtual building site. Obviously, it's a lot safer. And behind me is a simulation on a 12-metre screen that people can change when they're training.
The simulation's based on 2 real construction projects, a housing estate and a high-rise block. Over a 2-year period, 50,000 reference photographs have been taken and rendered as 3D models. The resulting 5 gig of graphics is then projected onto a 180-degree curved screen.
The biggest challenge is to create a scene that seems real, but at the same time doesn't distract the viewer and add too much variety into the scene so that they go and look at something that they might only see once. So the challenge has been to get the variety but keep the realism at the same time, so that the trainees have a fully immersive feel as they're flying around the virtual sites. We've made a range of sounds throughout each environment. There's one main ambient sound that plays on a continuous loop over the top of each environment you're flying around, but there's also certain sound bites that are connected to certain vehicles.
But it's not just about the sights and sounds. The training includes site huts and actors, so that soon-to-be construction project managers can get their hands virtually dirty in a selection of realistic scenarios. Trainees react to disgruntled builders or happy clients, while people in the control room monitor what's happening and will score them based on how they're doing. A typical session lasts about 1.5 hours. Plenty of time to get immersed, but can you really lose yourself in the simulation?
Well, the most important change in your experience is that you are placed in a role in which you can't afford to do something. The phone is ringing, somebody is knocking on the door, and it's not very easy to ignore that. A simulator is not only excitement, sometimes it's difficult, like the real life. Sometimes it's dull, like real life. So we are not creating only exciting things, like for instance in a game, and you show us how you are really acting. And that's the most important thing, I think, of the simulator.
So, does acting really improve safety in one of the world's most dangerous professions? Well, one positive pointer can be found in the Netherlands. Research following trainees who've been through the simulator showed there was a significant drop in controllable incidents and building defects. But until the machines are able to do the site managing and building for us, we'll still need humans. So here's to never needing a simulated tea break.
LJ Rich, small but strong. and she finished Click's Kitchen on time.